ladies, I am Barbara and I am your menopause drama mama. Today I'm talking about that misconception of what exactly is BHRT, and that is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Now, some people just call it HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, but then they put the B in front of it so they can say it's bioidentical, and bioidentical is what is the closest or mimics our estrogen that our ovaries produced, prior to going into menopause. Now, there are two types of bioidentical hormones. One is a pellet, one is a patch. I have the estradiol patch, and this is, you take it, or you don't take it, you put the patch on and you change it twice weekly, and that is what mine is. So the pellet, though, now I was told when I first went on that was what was considered to be bioidentical, and that the patch was not considered that. So I am not exactly sure if doctors get a kickback by doing bioidentical. I have no idea. I have no information on that, but I am just wondering if that is the case, because bioidentical hormones by pellet, which gets inserted in your butt, is basically out-of-pocket cash. Now, for me, when I was doing that, that was like $400 every 3 months, which to me was getting quite expensive. Where, on the other hand, the estradiol patch, which is also bioidentical, this cost me with my micronized progesterone per month, so 2 prescriptions, like $40. So, this is a much more inexpensive way to go, and our insurance company pays for these. So, I don't know, like I said, what the reasoning is why doctors will say only that pellets are considered bioidentical, because both pellets and estradiol patches are considered to be the replacement hormone made, the estrogen, from our ovaries. But what I do have, if you are on the fence about considering whether you want to do this or not, I can only say for myself that it was the biggest game changer of my entire life, because I never experienced anything like it going through menopause, where every single thing that, I just kind of knew in my body changed. And it was really horrific for me, because I felt horrible every single day. My symptoms were literally off the charts, and I was not living a very comfortable life at all. I mean, I was living in a state of hell every day. So, but going on my estradiol patch and my micronized progesterone pill that I take at night, game changed my life, and I am so grateful for that. So I want to explain here about that bioidentical hormones simply means they are chemically identical to our human hormones made from our ovaries. So that estrogen is chemically identical to our human hormones. And they come like the estradiol patch. There's different brands. Like there's Dottie, Vivel, Clamera, and those are all like the makers for the patch. And the only thing that I had noticed different about those is that some of them, there is a glue that my skin reacts to on the patch. I found that the Dottie brand, or Dottie maker, I guess, is one that my skin did not react to. So like the other makers for this glue type that they put on the estradiol patch gets very itchy on my skin, so then I have to use like cortisone cream around the patch area. So for me, that was my only downfall, is having like a itchy reaction from the glue that or adhesive that they use for the patch to go on your skin. So it does not have to come in a pellet form to be considered to be bioidentical. The patch, it sticks to your skin. It delivers your estradiol through the skin, and it goes then through, your body basically. So it bypasses your digestion and your liver first pass metabolism, and you change it typically 1 to 2 times a week. Now, ever since I've been on it, the directions are always 2 times a week, and I do mine on, I change it on Fridays and on Mondays. So that is the biggest thing for the estradiol patch. Now I know, for women who do the pellet, if they have a favor for doing the pellet, it would only be mainly because once it's inserted, it's there and you don't have to worry about changing your patch or anything like that, which is fine. But, that big downfall for me was paying out of pocket. I did not like that. And there are the things that are different about the patch and the pellet is once the pellet is in, that is the dosage that you get. Now, when we hit post-menopause, we do not want our estrogen to be fluctuating up and down anymore. We just kind of want it flatlined and receiving the same amount all the time. And then you will not experience, any symptoms from your estrogen, being high, like in the pellet when you first have it inserted. It's, the high dose right away. And then over the time period before you would have another one inserted, maybe 3 or 4 months later, that estrogen, whatever, it goes on a slow decline. So you can start feeling that loss of energy again, and possibly other symptoms that you were having before, just because your estrogen does not stay the same anymore when you are on a pellet. It's high in the beginning, and then it drops down to nothing before you get another pellet. But now for the patch, it is exactly the same all the time, does not change. And I love that. It's just flatlined. So your estrogen level never is fluctuating up or down. It is just the same consistent dosage in your body that you are receiving all the time. So I personally love that. I do not want my hormones fluctuating anymore after, I've hit postmenopause and I am having, having a BHRT for bioidentical hormone replacement. I don't want the fluctuation in my body. I want it to stay the same. So pellets now, that is a little different. It is a tiny implant. It's inserted under your skin, and it can be a little painful because they slice that open, that skin, to get that pellet in. And it's often in either the hip or your glute area. And it's, it just slowly releases your hormones over, 3 or 4 months until it has to be replaced because it is gone. It's dissolved into the system. So it's never the same dosage that you receive because it's just going, dissolving, over time. So until it's all gone, and then you literally are, out of your hormones again. So that is the biggest difference between patches and pellets, and that is the delivery system. Now they both do the same exact thing, whether it's hot flashes that you needed to have some type of relief from, or night sweats, or inability to sleep at night, your mood stability, vaginal dryness, bone health, that's a big one, muscle loss, that's another big one. So if you are looking to just get those things that you are losing in your menopause years, you may want to consider the patch as just a flat-lined, always receiving the same amount of estrogen every single day without worrying that anything is going to reoccur, like you're sweating and stuff like that, because that becomes really uncomfortable, or heart palpitations or anything, that was associated with going through menopause. Now, like I said, the hormones for the pellet, it starts high and gradually will decline, where the estradiol patch is just a flat line, same base that your body is receiving at all times. And one of the biggest things that they say for bioidentical hormone delivered through a pellet is that women can experience more acne. Just because the consistency of the estrogen is not the same, it starts high and then it gradually drops. And so anyway, like the patch is very predictable. It's always the same. And if, your body is, say you start at the 0.5 milligram, which is the low dose on the patch, and you're still having symptoms, you can call the doctor and say, I would like to try the 3/4 milligram patch, and that's easy to adjust. You can, the next time you take the patch off or whatever and just put the 3/4 inch on. Or even if they start you at a higher dosage, which is like the highest is 1 milligram patch, and perhaps you have breakthrough bleeding, then they can lower the dose like right away. There's no waiting. You could just call the doctor's office and just say, look, I've had breakthrough bleeding. And then she can, or he, whichever doctor you have, can lower the dosage for your patch right away. And so then you can change it, So anyway, that is the big difference between what is considered, the bioidentical replacement, hormone replacement therapy, the BHRT, and both are BHRT. So patches and pellets, both BHRT. The biggest difference is delivery system, and the other huge difference is the estrogen or estradiol that is going into your system. The pellet, it starts here and gradually drops down to here until you are out of it and they have to put another pellet in, where the patch is just consistent. Twice a week you change your patch and your body is just constantly being fed estrogen. Now, like I said, and what is nice about the estrogen, this patch, is pharmacies now, you can have it delivered by mail, so you don't even have to go out if you don't want to. And that's the biggest thing that I have to say for bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It literally is two kinds, and that's the patch, the pellet, and the biggest difference is the delivery system of them. And if you want just the same exact feeling all the time, I would go with the patch. But that's just in my opinion, and I have no medical expertise on this whatsoever for you. I can only tell you what happened for me and how wonderful I have felt ever since then. So that's it, ladies. I hope you enjoyed this video. If any men, see the videos too, and your wife, you are wondering what is going on and you're kind of maybe looking into some things for her, maybe she should talk to a menopause doctor about going on HRT. All right, I will talk to you guys very, very soon in my next video. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in this world, and may the sun be shining upon you. And I am always sending high vibrations and blessings your way. Love and hugs, ladies, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.